Hey, what's up? Captain Kerwin here, and it's Q&A number 7. And guess who I got here? Taryl from Grass Rat's Garage, and I'm going to be asking him some questions. We're going to try and get those answers out of him. So, let's hit him with the first question. Alright, the first question. Let's see. Why isn't my snowblower auger spinning?
Why is my auger snowblower spinning?
Why isn't my snowblower auger spinning?
Oh, it's not spinning.
Yeah.
Alright, Captain Kerwin. The reason your auger isn't spinning is you haven't enrolled your snowblowers in a spin class. They have to be enrolled in a spin class in order for them to spin.
Oh, okay, well, that's easy enough.
No, I'm just joking. The reason your auger isn't spinning, especially on a 2-stage, it could be 2 things. Now, in case you don't know what a 2-stage snowblower is, that's where you have an auger in the front and you have a little fan in the back. The auger in the front is the first stage, the fan in the back is the second stage. That's a 2-stage snowblower, and they're usually the big heavy metal ones. Not like a heavy metal band, but a big steel snowblower. So one reason could be you hit something and you sheared the shear bolts on the augers that are there to protect the gearbox. You might have to replace the shear bolts. If the shear bolts are good and it still doesn't spin, then you broke the belt. There's a belt that runs that auger that's under that cover. On a single stage, they don't have shear bolts. They just have a belt. And the reason it's not spinning is the belt is broke, or the cover has got a hole in it because you let the scraper bar and everything wear down to the point where the snowblower is rubbing on the concrete or asphalt, and it wore a hole in the cover and a bunch of snow got in there. That snow is acting like lubricant and making the belt slip. So the auger may spin a little bit, but then as soon as you contact the snow, it stops spinning, and you need to address that. So it's usually a belt problem or shear bolts or both, but those are things you need to check out.
Couldn't you also just make a little adjustment on the cable to tighten up on that auger belt?
Yeah, you could do that too. You know, an auger, the cables that pull on a 2-stage or a single stage, you know, the belt will stretch. So, you know, you may have to do that too. That's a good point, Captain Kerwin.
Huh, cool.
That you may have to adjust the cable too. Put more tension on it, put more tension on the belt. Or your belt may be wore out to the point where even if you make the adjustment, it's still not putting enough adjustment on it. So those are things you need to check.
I've also seen where those roll pins come out of the fan in the second stage.
Oh, so you're just a whole cornucopia of information here, aren't you, Captain Kerwin? Yes, that too. There is that second stage, which is held in by a roll pin. Maybe that pin came out. That's not a shear bolt in there. That's a roll pin. I've seen where those come out, and that fan is just slipping on the shaft there. So that's a good point too. You need to check that also. All right. So that should cover that question. Next question there, Captain.
Could you explain the difference between 2-cycle and 4-cycle, and which one you would prefer on a snowblower?
The difference between a 2-cycle and a 4-cycle. Well, that's a good question because a lot of people don't know and a lot of people do know. Well, a 2-cycle is a 2-stroke motor, which means it just goes up and down. It has 2 strokes. So that engine requires you to mix the oil and gas together. And you have to buy the special 2-cycle oil to mix it with gasoline. A 4-stroke engine is just a straight gas engine where you have a separate compartment on the engine for the engine oil, and then you put the gas in the gas tank, regular straight gas. You don't mix it with the oil. And that engine has a piston and has valves, and it goes through 4 cycles. So that's why they call it a 4-cycle and a 2-cycle. So on a snowblower, what I prefer is I tend to prefer the 2-cycle only because the 4-cycle's got the engine oil in it And if you're rope starting it without a electric start and you got heavy oil in there, it could be hard to start, where the two-stroke engine seems to start easier and quicker because you don't have that crankcase oil in there. But they don't use the two strokes anymore on newer snow blowers. They're all 4 cycles out, or kind of phasing out the 2-cycle engine. But that, you know, is just one thing that I kind of prefer, is the 2-stroke, because it does make it easier to pull if you're pull starting. If you got electric start, it doesn't matter, because when you got electric start, 2-cycle or 4-cycle, if that electric start works, man, that really cranks that thing over quick and it'll start. But if you don't have electric start, I prefer the 2-cycle over that. Okay, does that answer that question? What do you think? Is that a good answer, Captain?
Sounds good.
Good answer, Captain?
Oh, for sure.
Or should I jump ship now?
No, you're good on that one.
Next question, Captain. Which hand do I salute you with?
No, either one's fine.
All right, next question.
What are some of the common problems you see with snowblowers?
What are some of the most common problems I see with snowblowers? Good question, Captain. Well, of course, the main problem I see, the biggest problem I see, is gummed up carburetors. And that's only due to the fact that a snowblower doesn't get used as much as your lawnmower. Your lawnmower, your grass is growing every week, you know, because of the weather. So you're out there every week using that mower. Snowblower, depending on where you live, you may only use it a couple times. Like where we live, sometimes you don't even use it at all. You know, you may not use it for a few years, so it sits a long time. And they generally sit about 10 months. So old fuel is the biggest problem I see. The next problem I see is broken belts, broken shear bolts, you know, just wore down paddles from it being used and it getting wore down to the point where it won't, throw any snow anymore. I had to burp because I was drinking that ham. But the biggest problem is old fuel from it sitting. All right, next question, Captain.
Yeah, makes sense. The last question is, can I use my lawnmower to blow my snow?
Can I use my lawnmower to blow snow? Is that what you said?
Yep.
Okay, you mean the lawnmower, meaning the lawnmower with the mowing deck on it?
Yeah.
Not a lawnmower that's set up with a snowblower or a plow.
Nope, just turn the mowing deck on and start chopping up some snow. Shoot it out of the discharge chute.
Couple problems I see with that is, for one thing, your lawnmower doesn't have the right tires on it for doing that. You know, you may be able to do it depending on how deep the snow is, because you're not cutting, you know, if you got 2 feet of grass, like 2 feet of snow, I don't know how you're gonna
I could see maybe if it was like fluffy and you just wanted to like blow it.
Yeah,
blades.
Right, but still those turf tires that are on there, you know, you're not going to get any traction. You're going to need weight, and you're going to need tire chains. You know, these are things you have to, I don't know. It doesn't sound like a good idea. You could try it. It might work. That's something to think about. But I think because of the depth of snow that it's not a good idea. That's not a good idea to use your lawnmower to try to blow snow with. No, it's a lawnmower. It's not a snowblower. You want a snowblower, you get a snowblower, or you get a plow or snowblower attachment for your tractor. But no, not a good idea.
Yeah, I don't think it's really equipped to chop the snow up. That just doesn't make sense.
You got any more questions, Slippers?
Nope, that's it. That's gonna do it for Q&A number 7. Make sure you be on the lookout for Q&A number 8.
So, as always, subscribe to this YouTube channel, Taryl Fixes All. Follow me and Slippers, Captain Slippers.
Yeah, that's right.
On Facebook and Instagram. Go to our web store, buy some Taryl apparel. Ring the little bell for notifications. There's all kinds of stuff I need to tell you.
A lot of stuff going on.
And as always,
there's your supper.
no, there's your dinner.
Oh, okay.
There's your dinner, Captain.
There's your dinner. Captain Kerwin.